How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is another drifting tutorial. I've been asked by so many people to drift with them so I can show them how to drift, so I can teach them how to drift. And the only thing I keep telling people is to watch my video, and they said that they've watched my video and they still can't get it right. So in this video, I'll try to go into much more detail and showing you guys exactly how you can enter a turn sideways and come out the other side sideways. And I'm going to show you guys how to control the car and all that stuff. So I'm going to be using the exact same car that I've used in my first drifting tutorial. There's a link on the screen right now. You can click on it. It'll take you to that video. There's also a link in the description box. Maybe you're watching this off a mobile device or something, and you might not be, able to click on the annotation on the screen. Go over into the description box and you guys can click on the link there. Now I'm going to be racing on the Tsukuba Circuit. You can go on pretty much any circuit that you want, but if you want to follow me and do the exact same thing, go on this track. In the last video I went on the Top Gear test track and a lot of people didn't know how to get it. I put a video on how to get the Top Gear test track anyway on my channel, so you guys can go find that if you wish. Now, once you get here, make sure you have these exact settings. You guys can probably tell from my previous drifting tutorial what settings I've put on the car, and you guys can go copy those if you wish. I'm using a Mazda RX-7 as I've said previously, sorry. And you have to have comfort hard tires. You can drift to automatic. Manual, however, is recommended, I guess, because it is much easier to control the car than it is with automatic. So, it doesn't change gear whenever they want. It changes gear whenever you want, basically. Traction control has to be off. Driving line, you can keep that on or off. It doesn't make a difference. It's a little bit better if you keep it on, especially for the beginning, because then you'll know exactly what driving line you're gonna need to take. Except when you're learning to drift right now, you can keep it off for the moment, just because you don't really need to follow some line. You can literally just go around the track as wide as you want, or as close into the curb as you want, anything. Skid recovery force has to be off, active steering off, active stability management off, ABS put that to 1 or 2, it doesn't make a difference depending on what the brakes are on your car. I left mine to stock so far because these aren't very useful. I'm going to teach you guys how to drift my way. If you have anything else to add into this, you can write in the comments below, do whatever you want. But this is my way, and I'll show you guys how to drift. Tire fuel depletion should be off, and that should be on low. And mechanical damage, you don't want that. And then control sensitivity should be on 0. So let's go onto the track, and I'll show you guys how to get started. And I'll show you guys pretty much everything that you're going to need to know to start learning how to drift. It's not that I'm getting annoyed that people are asking me, it's just that people, I don't know, they probably just didn't understand too much of my last video, so I decided to, you come back and just do this whole thing again. I don't really know what to call this video. Should I call it an advanced video tutorial? Because it isn't really advanced, it's pretty much just the basics. But I'll probably call it the best drifting tutorial on YouTube. I'll just do that, just for the fun of it. I'll just call it the best drifting tutorial on YouTube. Now, this is the first time I've taken this car out in pretty much 6 or 7 months. I haven't driven this car in a very long time, to be honest. And let me try to get back into the mode of using this car. Okay, it's pretty simple. Alright. Now, first thing you're going to need to do, once you go around on the track, actually the first thing you're going to need to do, just before you even go around on a track, is go ahead and get yourself into a comfortable gear, like 3rd gear or something, and then go around pretty much every corner. And then once you're around a corner, try to slightly accelerate a little bit more. You'll notice the back trying to slide out, and then to control that, all you have to do is counter steer, and that means turning the wheel in the way that the car is going. So if you accelerate in a bend, if you're going around this bend and you accelerate, you basically turn the wheel to the right. So if you go in, accelerate, the back comes out, turn the wheels to the right hand side. So then the car you basically correct the car so it goes back straight again. Okay? So let's do this again with this corner. Let's go into 4th gear though, this time. Let's go a little bit faster. Go in here, accelerate, turn the wheel the other way, and you should be going straight again. So it's pretty much what you're going to have to try and learn how to do, is pretty much control the car, trying to make it go straight again, once it slides out of control. And once it goes in the corner. Okay? So turn the wheel the other way and it'll go back straight again. And then I'll show you guys now on the second lap. Let me just speed up for a bit. Okay, and in this long turn, I kind of don't want you guys to worry about this for the moment. You guys can leave this until the end. I'll show you guys how to get your car to go around this as well. Okay. Now, let's get ourselves over to this bend again. Going down to third gear. You can go on the outside line. It's a lot easier if you do this. And then you come in, accelerate, turn the wheel the other way, and it should slide into the bend. Now, what I have to tell you guys is don't keep the wheel turned to the left. Like now, this is if you're playing with a joypad or with a controller. Don't keep the wheel constantly to the left, because that means you're gonna end up. I'll show you exactly what's gonna happen. So you're in third gear, yeah. You enter the corner. If you accelerate and then keep the wheel the other way, you're gonna end up spinning out. Okay, so make sure you tap it to the left or you tap it to the right, depending on how fast you're going into the bend, and you're basically just trying to correct the car so it goes back into a straight line again, and that's what you're gonna try to accomplish for the first part anyway. So you go in, when you slightly accelerate, turn the wheel the other way slightly. Okay, so don't keep it pressed constantly, just slightly. See? And then your car goes off straight again. Now, that's pretty much the basics of entering a corner for drifting. Now, the next thing you're going to have to do is once you enter a corner, like this one, and you're trying to correct the car, accelerate. Simply when you're trying to correct the car to go straight again, just accelerate, and then you'll feel the car basically constantly keep pushing itself to try and make itself basically go out of control. And if you enter the corner without correcting the car and you're accelerating, that's going to happen. But if you're counter steering, you're basically going to make the car try to go straight while you're accelerating, meaning that the car is going to go around sideways. Get it? Okay, if you didn't get it, just try to listen to me again of what I said there. So if you enter a bend and you kick the back out, basically, as I've done previously, you just accelerate while you're in the bend. Your back is going to kick out. You counter steer to correct the car so it tries to go straight. But if you accelerate while you counter steer and you try to make the car go straight, the back will stay out while you're basically correcting it, meaning that your back will constantly stay out as you're going around the bend, meaning you're drifting. It's very, very simple. So I'll try again. Show you guys now. Go around in third gear, yeah. Go in. Accelerate, the back goes out. Turn the wheel the other way. And constant accelerating will make your car constantly drift. It's simple. As you can see by the left-hand side of the screen, where my braking and the accelerator pedal there, as you can see, like the force that I'm pressing down, I'm using the buttons for this. Like, people are constantly saying, oh, you should use the triggers, you're much more responsive, blah blah blah. Okay, you can use the triggers, you can use whatever button you want, but like, I'm just saying, just watch that for a second. You can see that I'm not constantly accelerating. I'm basically just tapping the accelerator just to add that little kick of a power, and that's pretty much what you have to do. Now, for the longer drifts, it's really no different at all. All you have to do is just be in a higher gear, and there really isn't anything else I can tell you guys for this tutorial. It's just practice. There's no possible other thing that I can tell you guys to do, and that's pretty much the basics of drifting. Now, the handbrake is also very useful. Let's say when you're trying to let me just turn around here 1 second. Now, the handbrake is also very useful. Let's say when you're trying to enter a drift and you want to enter the drift sideways already, a handbrake is pretty useful when you can literally just correct the car. Let's say if you're not going sideways enough or how can I call that? Your angle isn't correct. That's what I'm looking for. If your angle of the car isn't correct when you're going sideways, now you may think, how do you know when the angle is right? Well, you can kind of see if you're like drifting around with like at this angle, that's not that good, right? You get what I mean. So like the angle has to be around 45 degrees, and that'll be kind of, you know, the average. But if your angle isn't correct, and you feel like you can't correct it by accelerating and counter steering, you're gonna need to use a handbrake. And the handbrake is very useful. All you have to do is just tap it. So if you tap the handbrake, you're going to pretty much correct the car where you want it to go. So like right now, I can use the handbrake, as you've seen there. I just press it to get my angle correct. And I'm using the counter steer and accelerating technique to keep the car constantly going sideways. So it's really nothing to it. It's very simple to start drifting. The only possible other thing I can tell you guys is just to try and practice and practice and practice. There's no way you guys can be good at drifting just by watching my videos. You're gonna have to practice, and I really do hope that this video helps. I know that you guys can watch my previous video where you guys can see my hand movements on my controller, basically what I do with like accelerating and counter steering and doing all that. And you guys can watch that video if you wish, and hopefully this will be a little bit better than what I explained in my previous video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I really do hope it helped. If it did help, please leave a comment. I'd really like to know. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Simple.